It's Wendy and it's Wednesday and I have a little wisdom this week. So I caught a few minutes of one of those daytime talk shows the other day. It was either The View, The Chew, The Talk, Today, Tomorrow, I don't know. But anyway, on that show, Tyra Banks and her mom were at the end and they were kind of rushed. But they did something that really caught my attention. And Tyra Banks, as you all know, is that gorgeous supermodel. I think she hosts America's Next Top Model. But anyway, so Tyra and her mom were in the show. And what she did was she had the team come out and they had a huge mirror on the stage. And the purpose of having the mirror was for them to go through this exercise. And so I thought it was interesting. It caught my attention, so I went ahead and watched what they did. So what she said was she wants people to go through, or women to go through this exercise where they start out with something negative, but end with something positive. And I thought, okay, I can see how that could be beneficial. So it starts out with you looking in the mirror. And as a nurse, I've always, when I've done women's conferences on health and taking care of yourself, I always encourage women to look at themselves in the mirror all over. And that would go for anyone, not just women, but all over. Look at yourself with clothes, without clothes, and really get to know every part of your body. Because one thing that I tell young women is no one should know your body better than you. So back to Tyra and her mom. So get in front of the mirror, look at yourself, and then tell yourself the thing that you don't like the most. What is the thing about yourself in terms of what you see that you don't like the most? So I thought, that might be difficult for some people, or they may not want to admit it. And that's why this is a very private exercise. This is something you should do by yourself. So get in front of the mirror, pick out something, and maybe you don't have to get in front of the mirror. Maybe you just already have something that even since you were a small child, you didn't like about yourself for whatever reason. And we're talking about physical characteristics here, but I think there's an opportunity to take this a little deeper. So pick something that you don't like about yourself. And then her advice was either fix it or flaunt it. So I thought that was good, but I want to take it a step further. And I would say you pick out the flaw, which is an F. In your mind, it's a flaw. And you either fight it, you fix it, or you flaunt it. So you can fight it, but God made you the way that He made you for a purpose. So I think fighting is futile. Okay, so if you don't fight it, you could fix it, but sometimes fixing it, especially if it's a physical characteristic that cannot be altered any other way, that can get to be expensive. Or you can flaunt it. So what she did then was, in terms of flaunting, she got into all of the ways that you can either modify, accentuate, or change how you see that thing about yourself that you don't like. And of course, that came along with makeup tips and fashion tips and some other things. And we're in a day and time where you can use so many different things. It all depends on how much you want to spend, what types of clothes you want to invest in, even the type of makeup that you want to invest in. And I would say you don't have to go in for a huge entire overhaul, but maybe you can just start small. So I'll use me for example. Ever since I was born, I was told and I knew that I had a big nose. And it bothered me for years because of course in elementary school, kids can be cruel. So I was always reminded of how big my nose was. My godmother, Ruby, would always say that I got her nose and it's a beautiful nose. And I thought, okay, but you're my family and you're just trying to make me feel better about myself. My dad would say, you have my nose, that's an Underwood nose. Okay, and that's great, but you're my family, and other people are telling me, that my nose is big. So now I believe that my nose is big, and my nose is big. Now, as I'm older, I've learned to embrace that, because that may be or may have been the thing that I didn't like about myself, but the thing that I love about myself is my smile. So what I realized was when I smile, my nose actually gets bigger. So the thing that I love accentuates the thing that I don't love so much. So I just had to make a decision that I have to love it all, because God made me this way. So yeah, I could make light of it and I could say to you, hey, just go with it, just embrace it. But I recognize that sometimes those hurtful things or the things that we think about ourselves go really, really deep. And all it takes is for one person to make a comment about it, and all the damage gets redone. Every time I hear someone talk about someone's nose, or make a nose joke, or use little cute names for people's noses, there are some things that get clicking in my mind. But I have to remember that that's not about me. And my nose is mine. So in all its glory, I will embrace it. I'm not going to fix it, and I choose to flaunt it. So how do I flaunt it? Well, by smiling. When I smile, it spreads out at least another, 2 inches. Okay, but my smile is beautiful. I love it. I love to smile, and I'll continue to smile despite the nose on my face. So what is the flaw that you face? Another thing that came to me a few years ago was Cat Williams, of all people, comedian, and he said, stretch marks. Ladies, if you have stretch marks, it either means that you were big and you got small, or you were small and you got big. Men don't care about stretch marks. And I thought, wow, if you change the way you view it. Chrissy Teigen is on a commercial, and at the end of the commercial, she says, I earned these tiger stripes. When I heard I earned these tiger stripes, I felt empowered. I'm like, yeah, tiger stripes. I love animals. That speaks to me. I earned my tiger stripes too. And that changed how I see my flaws, or what someone else may call flaws. So remember that it's easy to get down on yourself. It's easy to hate some things about yourself, physically or otherwise, but it's so much easier to embrace it and flaunt it. Find a way to accentuate and have a positive perspective on the things that make you uniquely you, the way that God made you and the way God intended you. If we were all the same, this world would have no flavor. It would have no spice. So it's great that we're all different sizes, we're all different colors, have different backgrounds, different cultures, different looks, and different aspects of ourselves that make us feel like we are one of a kind, because we absolutely are. So the last thing I'll leave you with on this note is, when we look at how we can improve ourselves, really it starts from the inside out, not from the outside in. You can change things on the outside, but if your mind doesn't change and your mind doesn't truly believe, then it doesn't matter what it looks like on the outside, because the inside is still hurting. So start from the inside out, and I guarantee you, you will feel so much better about yourself. And then the last thing is, hey, if you feel better about yourself, then it really doesn't matter if anybody else does. It's not about whether or not they get it, they believe it, or they embrace it. It's about if you do. So join me. Join Tyra and her mom, and I'm sure you can Google it and figure out what this whole movement is, but I love it. So I'll leave you with my wisdom for the week. You can either embrace it, you can fight it, you can fix it, or you can flaunt it. So I hope that you choose to flaunt it. that's all I have for this week. That's my wisdom. Thank you for joining me again. So until next week, have a blessed week. Bye.